Hi everybody, welcome back to the Siri Poetry Library. This is a little poem I wrote a few years ago about Jim Henson. For those of you who don't know, today is 30 years that we lost him. So, wrote a poem about it. Walked home from PS 52 on a mid-spring Wednesday, 5th grade, fading fast. The summer ahead would be days and nights of parks, arcades, little Jimmy Ices. Another explosive 4th of July where us kids would turn our block into Vietnam. Junior high was starting in the fall, then high school. The adults said it was happening so fast, but the world moves slowly when you're young. My siblings were watching the news when I got home. They never watched the news. Jim Henson was gone. A second father, a man who brought so much joy and happiness into our lives, was gone in a flash. It didn't seem possible. Memories seen on that RCA flooded my mind as my book bag slumped to the floor. I sat silently thinking how much laughter and invention was taken too suddenly from the world. None of us talked about it in class, lunch, or recess. We were almost 6th graders, couldn't risk being teased for liking kid stuff anymore. We all acted cool as if somehow we could face the worst years of school ahead of us without scars. Spring lambs, unaware of the inevitable slaughterhouse of adolescence. 90s Muppets were not seen by wide eyes that would stare into Viewmasters for hours on end. That kid was buried deep under the awful weight of middle school. I did rent Christmas Carol on VHS. I wanted to love it, wanted to be young again, but at 13, the world had already tainted me. It isn't the same. I'm too old for this. I'm not a kid anymore. Deep below, under the bullying and rejection, was a child that longed for the old days, one that missed Jim so much. Somehow, if he was still around, we would have been able to hold on to youth, not to be childish, but to have hearts full of humor, optimism, imagination. The daydreamy child rose from the ashes of junior high into a shy, frustrated teenager. Not every day was bad, but none was ever great. I kept hoping, even as the 20s eclipsed the teens and ran full speed towards the 30s. I hoped somehow it would be different, hoped to experience the magic and wonder that life once held, if only for a moment. Someday we'll find it. November 2011, in a rundown theater in New Jersey, there was an awakening. A feeling of an older magic that had been sleeping so long. Watching my friends on screen was like watching your favorite band together again. One more show. All your favorite songs. It was lost youth comforting the older you and saying, it's going to be all right. Keep believing. I thought of Jim, a friend who left us on a sunny day when nothing was A-OK. He was never really gone. Only when we stopped pretending, loving, dreaming, and believing are the people we love gone from our lives. Life is a winding labyrinth. We see eternity through dark crystal, but if we find the courage to keep believing, hope shines clear on earth. That hope will carry us in this life and the next. I imagine that place to be much like the wedding at the end of The Muppets Take Manhattan. Along with all our loved ones and pets, I imagine being met by legions of frogs, pigs, bears, chickens, cows, what's-nots, hugga-wuggas, thingy-things, koozbanes, snowths, heaps, and fraggles. I can hear them. Life's like a movie. Write your own ending. Keep believing. Keep pretending we've done just what we've set out to do. Thanks to the lovers, the dreamers, and you. February 9th, 2015. Rewritten May 16th, 2020. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I was able to get through that one pretty good. I just screwed up a few lines here and there and rearranged some sentences because sometimes when I read, I'm already reading the next sentence as I'm speaking. So that's a big problem for me. I don't know what to say. It was a very sad day when I came home from school. I remember that it was on the news and they told me about Jim Henson. And Sammy Davis Jr. also died the same day, and I love Sammy. But we knew he was sick for a long time. It was still upsetting to lose Sammy Davis, but it was nothing compared to the shock of losing Jim Henson, who never looked like he was sick a day in his life. you know? He just looked like he was fine all the time, and it's just one of those things. When I saw the Muppets in 2011, I saw it at the Seacourt Theater in Toms River. I ended up seeing it about 6 times in theaters. I would have seen it more if I didn't have to work. But it was a great, great movie. Very important film for me, because I realized that the things that I felt were kind of felt on a subconscious level. I didn't realize that how much over the years, even though I was still a funny person, how much pessimism had taken over inside. That was something that I didn't even realize how much was there, because I'm a generally positive person, an upbeat person. I always try to keep people laughing, but I had become very inwardly very dark and very depressed, and very like all the hope, the imagination, the humor inside was mostly outward. Inside it was a different story. And when I saw that movie, it really, really had a powerful effect on me. And most people would be like, well, what are you talking about? It's a Muppet movie. But fans of Star Wars, like fans of Muppets and fans of Star Wars and certain franchises, will tell you it's not just a movie. It's never just a movie. It's always a lot more than that. And it really made me reevaluate a lot of things, and hopefully, for the most part, to try and change things inwardly as well as outside, because anybody could be funny. And sometimes the people that make you laugh the most are hurting inside in ways that you don't even realize, and it also made me reevaluate Muppets in the 90s, when they had Muppets Tonight and they had the other Muppet movies without Jim Henson, which were very difficult for me to... I'm a fan, so I did sort of show up and watch a little bit of it, but I didn't like them then. When I saw the Muppets Christmas Carol, I didn't like it. And Muppets Treasure Island, I didn't like. And Muppets Tonight, I didn't like at the time. But after 2011, when I saw that film, I kind of went back and reevaluated things and saw how great those works are, particularly Muppets Christmas Carol, which is one of the very best Muppet movies. And I watch it all the time, even when it's not Christmas. That's actually a line from one of my poems. It's an unreleased poem. But one of the lines in the poems was about the afterlife, and it was about meeting people on the other side and how things are they aren't right on Earth, and how certain things are different in other places. And one of the lines in the poem was, we'll watch Muppets Christmas Carol, like in the afterlife. We even watch Muppets Christmas Carol when it's not even Christmas, and that's a very, that movie really, I really turned a corner on that movie a lot, because part of it was just me being, a wise kid being a jerk and saying, like, I don't like this, it's corny, this is for kids, this isn't for me, and stuff. But then what it really was at the end of the day was we were still upset over Jim. We never properly dealt with that. It was just one of those things where a lot of people didn't even care about it. Like, even people I knew at school were like, whatever. But I'm like, don't you understand? This is a big deal. But I didn't want to say much because, again, you're 5th grade, you're going into 6th grade. You don't want to, put yourself out there too much, because it was just a very weird time in my life. The teen years, from age 11 to about 18 are some of the most painful, ridiculous years of life. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that go right or go wrong in those years dictate a good majority of the rest of your life. So it's, always be extra kind to if you have your own children, or if you have nieces or nephews or people that are that age, because those are some very, very, they can be some very tough times. So, okay, we're going to probably read a few more in a minute. Signing off.